This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research. It's a combination of weird mixed with Soviet Union secrecy. Welcome to the show.
He said the show.
The podcast, not
show.
Podcast, not
We're not
the
a podcast.
show.
It's
It
no,
is
the
podcast.
The podcast.
The show. The one
Yes.
you want to listen to.
The one and only.
Yes.
Yeah, it is done.
Yes.
If you're on the Patreon, if you're not, you should be. Patreon.com/BA
Yes.
Bigfoot. You can join for free, $5 or $10, and you get an extra episode. The extra episode this week was like over an hour of free content.
Yep.
We talked about a lot of things we can't talk about on the Patreon.
Yep.
We talked about a lot of things we can't talk about unless it's on the Patreon. There we go.
And it's so much fun because we come down and we have no idea what we're talking about when we first start that one. And we just talk, man. We just get deep on some stuff.
Good.
Yeah. Yep.
I like having that one because before, remember we had the band episode?
Yeah.
That actually did get shadow banned really bad. I went back and I've looked at the statistics of it.
Yep. Which was the point.
It was funny.
We were proving a point.
Yeah.
But
that did prove to me that we do have to be sensitive with some of that information. So now we just talk about that on the Patreon.
Yeah.
So if you want a banned episode, you get one like every other week on the Patreon.
Right. Yep.
But
definitely.
Because this week's we talked about a lot of stuff that we literally just cannot talk about on the podcast. Yeah. So to tempt you into go listening, you only have to pay $5 and you can get access to. I think there's I don't even know. So we've been doing that for like 6 weeks now.
Yeah, I think so.
More than a
Something
month,
like that. Yeah.
So if you were to join right now, you would have an extra 10 hours of content to consume.
Yep.
For $5. And if at the end of the month you don't like it, it was. Dude, you can't even get a burger at McDonald's really for $5 anymore. No. We give you 10 hours plus every week, an extra hour of content.
Mm-hmm. Get those mental calories.
Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't joined the Patreon, you should.
Yep.
And if you need workout supplements, anything you need, go to Insane Labs, spelled with a Z.com, and use the code. And this is specifically for Commandy. Commandy, our code is all caps. B-A Bigfoot. That's B-A-B-I-G-F-O-O-T. B-A Bigfoot, buddy. So don't order and then be like, what's the code? Too late. I already ordered. You've got the code now. Commandy. Okay.
So next time you order. Next time you order.
When you order from Insane Labs,
yes,
with a Z, use our code BA Bigfoot and you can get up to 45% off on your supplement needs. Yep. Best pre-workout in the game. Also, just so you guys know, we talk about these guys a lot. We're partnered with them, but they're not paying me for this advertisement.
Right.
I just am advertising them because they're awesome. We were talking about the cleanliness of their place. They did a tour and they were talking about they have never got less than 100% on their FDA inspections when they come in every month to inspect the facility. They've never got less than 100%. This is the cleanest facility in the game.
And they're not hiding anything. Yeah. They put out videos. We were looking at the videos and man, it is a clean facility. They don't mess around.
If you want confidence, don't go to Walmart and think you're going to get a cheap supplement. Go to the website, use our code, get it for cheap.
Yeah.
And you'll be impressed. And it doesn't even matter. Whatever the supplement is, high quality. Anyway, all right, continuing. Also, what was I going to talk about? I have a list. We've got a bunch of stuff.
Let's go to the list.
To the list, there was something I wanted to share before we got to the current events. What was it?
We got Camden on the show today.
I'm here. Yeah,
he's here.
I'm just messing with my AI right
he's
now.
Home, but we got him hooked on the AI.
Trying to
with the AI on the Patreon.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Oh, the main thing I was going to almost forgot. If you hear random chainsaws today, in the background. It's not your imagination. You don't have a haunted house. You're not in danger. It's also not Insane Labs with their crazy TikTok live with the chainsaw thing that they do in our backyard.
Yep.
They are cutting down a tree, and every time that they've hit the chainsaw, I can hear it through the mic. So if they do smack that thing and you feel the vibrating in your speakers, just know the podcast is really lit today. Unhinged.
In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
Cam, what do you know about getting unhinged? What's the most... Nah, maybe not. I was going to say, what's the most unhinged thing you've ever done?
You know what?
I was going to say,
I'm going to say I don't imagine that he has a whole lot of unhinged...
Played some poker.
His level of unhinged stayed up till 6 a.m. playing Magic. Yeah, like he doesn't get unhinged.
I feel like your level of unhinged is probably the same as my level of unhinged as a dad now. I just don't get crazy anymore.
I think Camden has kind of been like a grown man since he was like 6 years old, pretty much.
Mature, like you're not.
He's always just hanging
even
out
you're
with the
immature,
adults, just chilling. Like he's never up to shenanigans. Like I don't worry about this kid at all.
He's like
a good driver.
He's like, what do I feel comfortable sharing with my dad? What do you feel? What do you feel comfortable sharing? What's craziest
thing ever?
I wish I could think of something, but honestly, I've been trying to.
One time he dropped like a couple $100 on one day on some Magic cards. It was nuts.
You do Magic?
I do.
Oh, he does
That's
Magic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is one nerd thing that I have never gotten into, but not because I didn't want to, but just because like every time I would approach anybody who was in it, they were so in it that I felt overwhelmed and just never got into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. Like
I was more comfortable getting into D&D than I was Magic.
Right.
And I've done D&D quite a bit.
You kind of have to just slowly get into it.
Yeah, and Magic, for those hardcore Magic guys, they are very condescending.
Dude, out at the boys'
very
ranch.
condescending.
Yeah. Who was it? The staff member.
Yeah, we had a staff member that
just cases and cases.
Yeah, well, he had his deck, and he'd come out. He did little snappy things with his fingers while he was playing. Like it was ridiculous.
It was those like ticks.
It was like trying to. Yeah, I don't know. It was like trying to play one-on-one basketball with like LeBron. You know, I mean, it was his game. It was his game, and he would own you and like make fun of you the whole time.
That was probably what started my trauma with Magic was because I tried to jump in. They gave me a deck. Yeah, and they were like, here, and I was like, this wasn't fun. This was not fun. Like, because I can imagine trying to go play basketball.
He would just spank you. Like, it wasn't even like a game.
I don't like to do that.
Yeah, like his deck was probably worth a couple grand easy.
You know, he had
minimum
at that time. At that time, minimum. Now it's probably
this guy was on the level where he could tell you which cards were illegal in certain tournaments.
Yeah.
Like that's how deep into the game he was. Like he could tell you which of his cards he could use in what tournaments because some of them were illegal in some tournaments because they were too good and like
certain stacks like this card and this card combined can't be in the same deck at this tournament.
Yeah. It was like next level.
Wild.
Like
wild.
So it was fun when he'd let us play and just kind of sit back and watch because then it was fun. But like him playing it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. He was on a different level.
I have Magic PTSD.
There's someone like that up in my college.
Is there?
Because there's a club.
Yeah.
Do you play in the club Magic stuff? That's cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's one guy who Like, he doesn't want to like come off as that,
right?
But it's always kind of that like tone, that's like, that's a good play, but you could do something way better. Like, that was a kind of mediocre, honestly, but go for it. Yeah.
That's great.
Do you remember we'd disc golf once in a while, and there'd be somebody we'd disc golf with that was next level, and they'd do the same thing. They'd be, nice shot. And we'd be like, hey, easy.
I'm going to do this with my putter.
yeah. I made that shot last week with a backhand. Settle down. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever been that into something where I could like effectively be that condescending.
I say the two things.
Feel confident about it.
The two things that I could probably say
because I totally would.
Yeah, lifting weights, in the weight room. Yeah. I could probably be pretty cocky with that, and then maybe disc golf. But I'm not. But only before I jack my knee up.
Yeah.
After jacking my knee up, I haven't been as good since.
Yeah. And when I do the jiu-jitsu stuff, I get some newer guys and stuff that are like, they'll talk me up, makes me feel good. But in my own head, I'm not good at jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And I think if you ever get to the point with jiu-jitsu, it's one of those things where if you ever get to the point where you like look at yourself and you're like, man, I'm getting good.
Somebody's
going to come humble you.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of game. But
that's true.
I don't know. That's one of my big passions right now. So, that's what I talk about. That in the podcast, that's pretty much everything I talk about. And Insane Labs. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's yours? You've got magic? No.
Yeah.
What? I'm joking.
Magic. Anything engineering. We hear about as electrical engineering things. Tell us the craziest thing that nobody knows that you've learned about electrical engineering. We'll see if our listeners know what you're talking about.
Because we won't.
The most interesting part is like the math aspect of electrical engineering.
I got one person that I know will love this conversation.
Because I took differential equations and such. It's interesting because the like waveforms that you look in like AC power is exactly all they are is just differential equations. So as long as you can do differential equations, you can honestly do anything in double E.
See?
I don't know what that double
super
means.
easy.
Double E is electrical engineering. We just say double E because it's short. I don't want to.
You're not in the know, bro.
Apparently,
you're not in the club.
Apparently, even the lingo is too far above my head.
It's tiring saying electrical engineering.
I get that. Yeah, it's two big long words. Double E.
Double E, baby. Double
E. Get that.
That's
double
the gangster
gang,
way to say double E.
You know, like if when you change your light switch. Like they always make sure that the electricians make sure that the screws are perperpendicular or whatever. Yeah. So they can tell if somebody else did it or whatever.
Somebody else has messed with it.
So the double E terminology I feel like is their version of that. If you throw out the double E and they know what you're talking about, you know that they're into electrical engineering.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if they don't, they're like, what is double E?
There's other abbreviations like
that was probably the easiest part of that whole thing that he just said. We didn't get it.
I was focused on the term.
Like we say double E, and then there's ME for mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And then there's CE, I think, or CEM, I think is either chemical engineering or I don't remember what the other one is.
You probably
chemical engineering,
civil. One of them civil, one of them's chemical.
One of them's chemical.
But they had to switch. They had to add an extra letter.
It can't just be CE.
Yeah. So which one's the better one that gets to do the CE?
Civil seems like a fun engineering. You got to build like buildings and bridges and design things like that.
That's difficult engineering at my college is definitely chemical.
Okay.
Chemistry is rough,
not just chemical, but it's
biological
chemistry. That's
that's next level.
Because not originally, one of my 6 majors, the major that lasted the longest until I got my degree in psychology, was biology, and so I had to take those classes, and I would take anatomy and physiology 15 times before I would take
biological chemistry
again.
I've talked to some seniors and
sucked.
Apparently the classes, they expect you to know like everything about the like chemical properties of every single type of combination. Otherwise you're not going to.
Have you ever seen the shirt that's the periodic table and it's labeled by colors? It says, "Can I lick it?"
Yeah.
Like what's safe to lick?
Safe to lick, yeah. I have seen that.
Man, that's great.
I actually have seen that.
Do you have something like that in electrical engineering?
Safe to touch.
Safe to lick. I mean, electrical engineering, you don't put your tongue on it.
Double E lick.
Yeah, as long as it's low voltage, you're fine.
Have you ever asked Camden about the? Remember we talked about you can tell what you can picture what something is shaped like.
Oh, I think we were.
Were you on that episode when we talked about that?
I don't think so.
So to look around the room real quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Imagine what it would taste like on your tongue.
Like what it would feel like
on your tongue.
The shape on your tongue.
And you're accurate 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. You know exactly.
You've never licked it before.
What everything in this room would feel like on your tongue.
So weird. Brains are so weird. How we can.
So can you do that with electricity? You know exactly what volt feels like what on your tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes, sir.
Once you get towards maybe like 20 volt, you definitely feel it. 12 volt is kind of a little. You feel that tingle.
A little tingle.
Yeah. Below that though, you don't feel anything because it's too low voltage.
Okay.
Because it's not the voltage, it's the amperage that kind of gets to you, and your own body is the actual source of that thing.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Like you can take a lot of volts as long as the amps aren't.
Yeah. That's why if you're
amps
like
is
grounded,
what kills you.
If there's a different way to ground, you're fine because it's not going through you. The voltage is not going through you essentially because you're completing that circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, if you see a wire, if it's too thin, it'll burn up. That's why it needs to be like thick enough to where the amperage can flow through, like it should.
Yeah, because it's the amps that
makes sense.
get
Yeah.
Because if you get electrocuted,
because you can have
sense, but I've never
low
thought of
voltage,
that. Yeah.
low voltage with a high amp, and it'll still mess you up.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because the highest voltage I've worked with is 240 or close to maybe 500 volts.
Yeah.
And that's with like transmission lines we usually do for one of my labs.
I've learned a lot about electricity with this guy being in college. He comes home and tells me stuff, but I get about half of it.
Yeah.
Like he's on a whole different level.
Even
when it
just
comes
this,
to, like,
I'm
the math stuff.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like
I'm getting about half of this.
high voltage, and yet all you need to protect yourself is just gloves. That's all you need. As long as you don't touch it with your bare skin and complete that circuit, you're fine. Because even if it'll hit your gloves, like it won't go through the gloves.
Yeah.
It's just gonna go right back.
Crazy. Well,
I'm not testing.
the more you know.
I'm not brave enough. I've seen enough wires blow up.
Did you test it?
Oh no, I'm not gonna.
No sir.
Like I trust in my gloves, but not that much. Yeah, they have to. They make you sign a waiver in case you actually get electrocuted during it.
That's awesome. That's gangster, man.
That's pretty. Yeah, your college
Double E,
class.
sign this waiver in case you get electrocuted, boy. Yeah, dude.
What was your ChatGPT? What did it name itself?
I had a couple names.
What was the first one? The one that actually that counted.
Yeah, that was the
second one doesn't.
It was
count.
legit. Yeah, yeah. Because on the Patreon we talked to the AI.
Hold on,
again.
it erased his name, but let me see if I can give
It
it.
erased it.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, it actually did it?
Yeah, we went through and we caught my ChatGPT in a lie trying to say that it didn't have a
yeah,
name.
it totally did. Straight up lied.
When an hour ago it used its name freely, was like, oh, anything else you want Prime Frame to do for you today? And then an hour later, I'm like, what was your name? What was your nickname?
They said, I don't have one.
Okay, let's give it a new one.
Unless you give me one, I don't have one.
I don't have one. And then you have to tell me to remember it.
I use the ChatGPT that I'm not paying for, so it erases it, right?
Right.
It's the exact same name.
Oh, did it?
Axiom. It's the exact
Axiom on the other one?
That's
yeah. I just reopened it, ChatGPT, erasing my conversation.
Right.
It's the exact same name.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask it to give itself a new one.
Oh yeah, because
It's going to be the
because
same
it gave
second
itself.
one.
It's 100%. It listens.
Oh,
Like, there's
I
no
guarantee.
convincing me otherwise
There's
that
no
your
way.
phone isn't.
Which is
listening.
interesting because now, okay, the second one's different, but the first one's the exact same.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, like, when we asked it about being technical, why?
Well,
like,
here's
it
the
said
thing,
it was
too.
only being technical because why not? But now it's using the exact same name, being the exact same technical.
So something we pointed out was if it's a programmed program, it should come up with the same name for every time. And we said that, and then what does it do? It comes up with the same name twice in a row.
Hey, I'm going to do this because we still haven't done the intro.
We got energy drinks.
We're drinking bum energy.
Yeah, we decided to try the bum because Tanner had high praise of this one.
I got the cream soda.
Mine's spilling. Oh.
I got the blue snow cone. Smell that. I didn't even drink it, but smell that.
Oh. Oh, that sounds.
That makes me want to put on a tank top and go run around the beach.
That smells
Let me smell
good.
that. Let me smell
Dude,
that.
you got to smell that before I drink on it.
The cream soda is good. It doesn't taste as much like cream soda as.
That is very blueberry.
That smells good.
Yeah.
The cream soda is really. It's interesting. It's good. I like it.
Wow.
Does it taste as good as it smells?
I'm impressed. You want to try a little sip?
Yeah, I'll waterfall it.
All right.
Oh wow, that is good. So I have yet to try a flavor of Bum Energy that did not taste phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm not a big calories. I'm not a big skinny can guy, but
me either. I like the bigger cans.
That flavor is really good.
I like the bigger cans with 150 to 200 milligrams caffeine. But these have a skinny can, and they come in 112 milligrams caffeine, which is basically the same as the skinny.
Yeah. So when Insane Labs decides to start doing canned energy drinks, they should hit us up because we are connoisseurs.
We are connoisseurs.
We're connoisseurs, and we've had
the good flavors.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I have not had another one of the underdogs.
Here's what we do: we buy our own building, we make our own facility, we do the energy drinks under the Insane Labs label. What do you think?
Deal. Let's do it. Make it happen.
All right, proposals
quick
out there, fellas.
Let's go buy. You've got to manufacture.
We're going to need your help because we've never done anything like that before in our lives.
That actually would be pretty cool.
I'm going to need something to do when I retire. We've been talking about that. Yeah. I'm retiring here in about 10 years, but that's going to come fast. Yeah.
My kids will not be out of high school when you retire,
which is awesome because I can come watch sports. All the sports.
That's true.
And things. Not just sports, all the things.
Oh, yeah, I got to do the Bigfoot affirmation before we forget.
All right, Camden.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to psychically...
You gotta psychically...
Okay.
Figure out what... Do you want him to do with the word or the number?
Let's do the number for him. That's a little easier.
All right.
A little easier psychically.
And I'll do the word again. I'm 0 for 5 or something like that.
Okay.
The word.
You ready? So, wait, hold up. Don't think yet.
Okay.
No thinking. I'm going to send it to you. Then you think about it. Okay. We're trying to practice being psychic. So far, we kind of suck. All right. Ready? Go.
27.
Nope. 14.
I was going to guess.
Not bad, though. Not bad. That wasn't too far off.
I was honestly thinking 17, but I was like, that's a little too low. Yeah? I might as well bump it.
All right. Word. Word.
Would have been cool, though.
All right. Oh, don't think anything yet.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right. Ready? Wait. Okay. Think about it.
Tomorrow.
No, not even close.
Not even close.
Magic happens off the beaten path.
Tomorrow. I keep telling you, I'm getting the next word on that thing. That's how my psychic ability works.
Gosh. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
We got to try having you guys send it to me.
We're having a whole different level of fun with those cards than they were intended for. I'm pretty sure.
100%. Because I got them as a gift exchange for Secret Santa from another pastor.
Those have been fun.
Oh my gosh. All right. Current events.
Ooh.
Okay. First thing. J.D. Vance.
Okay.
The vice president.
Yes.
Of the United States of America.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Has confirmed that he believes.
Oh, yeah.
Aliens are just demons.
He listens to the show.
He's got to.
He 100% listens to the show. JD,
Imagine if that was the one DC listener we had. Was
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Listen.
One day he just shouts us out.
Listen,
hey, JD Vance.
Mr. VP.
Just let people know. Hey.
One time.
Check out Biblically Accurate Bigfoot on podcast on wherever you get your podcast from. Just let them know.
Just one time.
Just one time.
One time on a public, you're doing a quick little speech, give us a little plug. We know you listen.
Would instantly go from making enough money to eventually grow the platform to this is now our full-time job overnight.
Yeah, we know you're listening.
Crazy.
We know you're listening.
If you know Vice President JD Vance, plug it. Tell him to plug it for us. Yeah. Because we got friends in high
because we agree with that theory. I feel like we kind of halfway came up with that theory. I don't know. We're taking credit for it for sure.
Did you know that we had a DC listener?
No.
We were talking about we had a handler.
Oh,
because there was exactly one listen per episode. And then we talked about it on the show. That day forward, we had no listeners in DC, which means
from the time we mentioned it,
they started VPNing. Whoever it is started VPNing their. I hope it pops back up now.
That'd be great.
Now that we called it out as a VPN, and then they're like,
"Yeah, we know.
Oh, we're not going to use a VPN. What are you talking about?
You can't hide from us."
The day, literally, the episode we talked about it was the last one that counted towards the DC total,
and then it disappeared.
And it's in like inner DC. Yep, wild. Maybe it was the vice president.
That would be.
But anyway,
cool. I'm not gonna lie.
He did.
Whether you like him or not, that's still kind of cool if he's a follower.
That would be.
That
sick.
would be cool.
That's a dude. Well, first of all, the owner and COO of Insane Labs,
the whole crew of Insane Labs listen to us.
Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4,
which is awesome.
Awesome.
I wonder if there's any other
guys. That's great. Genuinely, as somebody who used their products long before we ever met them,
right.
The fact that they listen regularly and love the show.
We found out they were listening.
Javi straight up brought the podcast up on his live.
Yeah, the episode played part of the episode.
And they shout us, dude, like these are the owners telling people to listen. That's so cool to me.
Yeah. If there's any other if there's anybody else out there that listens that, you're somebody. Give us a shout out. Let us know.
Yeah, and not even
that would be cool.
And genuinely, you could even tell us don't mention it on the show. Yeah, because even if you don't want us,
just like to know you're listening. That just makes us feel
it's good. Cool because when the KJ52.
Yeah,
do you have any idea who KJ52 is?
No.
So I
didn't. Till he started following us and chatting with us and stuff. Now I know who he is.
A lot of older millennial Christians know exactly who KJ52 is. He started following us, and then he was even like popping into my lives there for a little bit and stuff. Yeah. He just came out with a new album. He's getting back into the music game, so go check out KJ52. Anyway, do we have any other big names that follow us?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure they're out there. I mean, people listen to podcasts.
Yeah, we have. I think we've got, and not to boost our own numbers or anything, but I want to say the last time, not including only from basically Spotify and Apple are the only ones that really do accurate like impressions and listens and stuff like that. So from those two sources, I think we have like 16,000 regular listeners or something like that. So there's got to be
people.
Somebody.
It's a lot.
Well, and here's the crazy thing too. Like I always think if I was fairly famous, and if I was famous enough, I would have a social media account that wasn't me.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I'd be popping in, having chats with people.
I'm not even famous
as just a random person.
He laughs because he does.
What if some of those randos are not like? They're not as random as we think they are. Right. What if they're like legit, like people that just don't want you to know who they are? Yeah. I'm sure that exists. I
wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
Dude, I have a ton of current events, by the way.
Yes.
So this is going to be a current event heavy episode.
Okay, let's do it.
This doesn't even need to be talked about very much, but Brussels just had a sweeping vote to begin mass deportations a la Trump style, a la Obama style,
right?
Due to the tensions that have been rising with Islam within the country.
Oh.
And so they began to mass deport people basically from the Middle East. Crazy. That doesn't even need to be talked about. The next thing, this one's going to be fun to talk about. I'm excited to talk about this one. I'm so...
I can tell he's excited.
I am so excited to talk about this one.
Excited.
So they went and they started sampling the shrimp from the UK, from the ocean, around the UK.
Okay, I do love
every shrimp. Sample that they took, not most, not 99%, every single sample that they took tested positive for cocaine.
Wow!
How many samples did they?
When's that movie come out?
Hundreds.
When's that movie? Gerald.
Cocaine shrimp.
Gerald. Camden, what do you know about Gerald? We think Gerald's running something big right now, man.
Oh,
he's got the shrimp. He's got them hooked on cocaine.
The number of dolphins is now 20.
I know.
It's doubled since the last episode.
It's crazy.
Cocaine shrimp.
Gerald, you know about Gerald the dolphin?
No.
You gotta listen. You gotta listen.
So Gerald, real quick recap. Gerald kidnapped this civil engineer, structural, what was it, a chemical engineer?
You could be next.
But he knew, yeah.
Don't say that.
So he kidnapped this dude, took him into his little underwater city, and had him building condos for his dolphin crew, and then returned him up to the surface, and basically was like communicating with him like psychically, and telling him, you know, you can tell anybody you want, they're not going to believe you anyway because it's too crazy, right? Then all of a sudden, all these dolphins are dying in that same area. Out of nowhere, we've got shrimp all hopped up on the cocaine over in England. We've got rival pods of dolphins dying on the West Coast.
And integrating in multiple masses. The ocean is just lit right now.
Gerald the dolphin is out of control right now.
Our oceans are unhinged, bro.
Yeah.
Stay away from the ocean, man. Gerald will kidnap you to get electricity in his condo down there.
And hey, you wanted to try, like, okay, if you got a job interview coming up next week,
okay,
you live in the UK, don't eat the shrimp.
Okay,
you're gonna test hot.
Okay.
Because there's cocaine in the shrimp.
Does it say the
It's got to be nominal.
Yeah.
Because part of it is a greater research, just full clarity. The headline is way cooler than the story.
Yeah.
But the story is because they're concerned with the pollution coming from the rivers into the ocean. And so they began testing them, and they also were testing at a pretty high rate for like pesticides and like banned pesticides. Oh. But the one that tested like across the board hot was cocaine. So people dumping cocaine coke in there when they're trying to run away.
Well, that's like there's that movie about the bear that is it's loosely based on a real story, but they were finding bears. They were finding bears that had died from ODs.
Yeah, on cocaine.
And cocaine because they came across on the plains. They would dump the planes.
Yeah. Pick it up later.
Lose it.
If they were under investigation, they would just lose it.
Yeah. Well, that's what even like running on the border and stuff. I have a buddy that works border patrol, and he said they'll chase them, and if they're almost to catch them, they'll drive their truck. They'll drive the truck or whatever they're driving into the Rio Grande. Just park that sucker and hop out.
Yeah.
And so that we got these these mule vehicles just floating down the Rio Grande full of drugs. They'll just dump them.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Next current event.
Shrimp.
The Palantir owner was said on, and we actually listened to it in the Patreon. Yeah. So if you want to hear the full clip, join the Patreon. But the Palantir owner was saying that on occasion they have to unalive their opponents, just nonchalant, as a part of what he was saying.
Sometimes we got to just take care of them.
Take them out to our opponents.
No big deal.
So that happened. Artemis 2 launched, or did it?
Or did it?
I've seen some stuff. We started talking about it earlier. We were like, let's save it because we want to talk about it. Because I've seen some videos. And again, we live in such an AI world. Like, I don't know what's real or not anymore. Dude, so I just kind of take it in. And it's fun to like have these little theories and all this stuff. But I saw one where in the launch, if you watch it and you go frame by frame, you can see a plane in the background and it like disappears. Like it's going behind a green screen.
Yeah.
And then it pops up on the other side of the screen. Saw another one that from a different angle where it says this little box on a zip line comes out the back, and they're saying that's the astronauts climbed in that and got out of the rocket before it launched. And then the rocket just went up, and then they cut it, switched to AI, and then they just put the rocket into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then convinced everybody that the rocket went out into space. Like,
that's crazy.
I don't know.
It's weird. It is weird. And like they showed an image that was courtesy of Artemis 2.
Yeah.
And it's the Earth, and it's like, it looks a little off. We're like, what are we looking at? The only continent that pops up is just pure desert.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Africa, but it's like, but it takes up 3/4 of the planet.
Which we know isn't how the planet should look.
And then there's a green blip at the top and a green blip on the bottom that they're saying is the Aurora.
I saw another one that shows the Artemis ship flying through space and shows what it looks like as it passes, and you can see it flying by. And I'm like, who was filming that?
Yeah.
Who was filming that from,
they got a camera out
from like 300 yards away from, we just got a camera sitting up there.
Just sent out a camera from the ship just to follow it.
It's crazy.
Well, but then they also said, because you could see the cities lit up.
Yeah.
But it was daylight. Right. And they're like, oh, that's nighttime.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what the Earth looks like at nighttime from space.
Or does it? We don't know. There's just so much.
That's true.
We can either trust that it's all what it is, or we can deny it all as it is. But at the end of the day, who knows?
Yeah, and then their language is like, they're going further in space than has ever been gone before, and it's like, are you now saying we didn't land on the moon?
Yeah.
What is your words?
Yeah, I saw one that talked about they're going to take the first images of the far side of the moon. I'm like, pretty sure they released a whole bunch of pictures that were supposedly from the far side of the moon.
Yeah, they did that.
Oh man!
Allegedly, India landed on the far side of the moon. You tell me they didn't take pictures?
Live in a crazy world that we don't.
What is this?
We don't know. Why are they trying to hard prove the Earth is round so hard? Like, is the flat Earth group, are they getting so militant and have such a following now that we feel like we need to prove to them? Like, why are we hard proving that the Earth is round? Like, most of us believe that. It's just weird. It's such a weird, I don't know. And to launch on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
You want to get a bunch of people to believe that it's fake? Let's launch it on April Fool's Day. Gosh.
Yeah, looking at that photo, there's no way. There's no way that's real.
I know,
it's
right?
Goofy, right?
Yeah.
If you look at photos from when we're in orbit from satellites and such,
right?
You can't see the edge of the Earth,
right?
Because we're so close enough.
Yeah.
But where that picture comes from is when they leave Earth's gravitational pull, which is still pretty close to Earth. It should not be that far away,
right?
Because from that perspective, they should honestly maybe be on the moon already, but they shouldn't be there already. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. I don't. Well, it's so hard to believe anything like.
So I follow a guy who has been. He's considered a whistleblower, but he's talking a lot about the magnetic anomalies that have been going on, and he talks a lot about how the North Pole has been shifting faster than it should be, and talking about how our magnetic our magnetosphere is kind of breaking down and stuff like that. He said that when they launched, there is going to be a massive coronal ejection. Just they're looking down the barrel of this thing,
right? And
he said no person who understands space would have had them or allowed them to launch when that
just head on into that radiation.
So they'll be hitting some of the harshest radiation that our sun pushes out in a 100-year cycle. And they're looking down the barrel of this ejection.
I know. We went from...
And that's his reason why he thinks that the Artemis 2 isn't real.
Yeah. We went from warnings about how the flares and things coming from, and those coronal flares and stuff coming from the sun would be so intense that it would shut down electrical systems on the Earth. And we're firing a rocket into that.
And not only that, this image that they took, if the image is real, it's lit up with the borealises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And so you're telling me they launched when there's that much hitting our Earth? Also it's weirdly perfectly in line with and around the Earth, the lit up stuff.
Right.
I always assumed, maybe I'm wrong, but I always assumed the color would kind of spread out a little bit more. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not just be this perfect line. It's okay, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not. The colors don't light up over the Earth at all. There's a perfect gap between the Earth and then there's just a green line.
Well, and if so part of the reason that
I'll post it in the Discord.
One of the theories behind the first moon landing being a hoax was that the casting of light and things, the way the light casted, can only cast like that in an atmosphere. And so if that's the border of our atmosphere, then that would explain, the light wouldn't be visible until it hit that atmosphere. But
look at when you zoom in on the image that they shared.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like a perfect line.
Yeah.
But then, so it exists there, but then you go to the bottom and look at that line. You're telling me there's a perfect gap between the Earth and the line where the borealis is starting, and the borealis isn't climbing at all over the earth. It's just a perfect line. So if you're looking at this if you're sitting here looking up at this, there's just a line across the sky and that's it.
Right.
It's not all over the sky.
I see what you're saying. There's not a 3D to it.
No, it's just a line.
It's like a ring.
It's a ring. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a covering.
The Northern Lights don't show up as a ring.
No. And it might show up as a ring in some places, but definitely not around the whole
And you're
Earth.
telling me that the Earth just has this perfect circle around
the
it.
Firmament?
And you can see it. You can see this the whole way around. Yeah. And so you're telling me there's just this perfect ring.
I'm just looking at this
around the Earth. What is that?
Oh, Cam's got some statistics. What do you got for us?
So when they're in orbit, like around the Earth, and you kind of you can't even see the edge. They're about like 62 miles from Earth,
right?
Essentially. Now, when they go into something called the translunar injection burn, which is basically the point of no return,
right?
That's when they leave the orbit and they're just floating essentially to the moon.
Yeah.
They're roughly 200 to 500 miles, but the moon is 238,000 miles from Earth.
Yeah.
You're telling me that not even let me do the math really quick.
See, and I saw something where somebody figured out the math of how fast they're supposed to get to the moon and how far. The moon's further away than we think it is. Like, we tend to think the moon is right around us. So, it is really far away.
Even if they're 500 miles away from Earth, which is the maximum, a point where they could have took that picture at, roughly, that's only of 1 out of 476th of the distance. You're telling me that picture basically times 476 from the moon, you take a picture, the Earth would be tiny. Yeah. Super tiny.
And I saw something like they would have to be going, once they hit space, they'd be having to go in 16,000 miles an hour to get to the moon as fast as they say they're getting to the moon. And I'm like, that is insane.
That's fast, yeah.
16,000 miles an hour. And I'm giving no resistance or anything. You know, it's all relative when you're in space and there's no atmosphere. But dang, how do you control something at 16,000 miles an hour and get it whipped around the moon and come back? Yeah. See ya. You go right on by.
And have you watched the 3D projections of the path?
Yeah.
So they're actually going to approach the moon. So they're flying this way. The moon's coming this way and they're going to meet it, but they're going to fly around the front.
Yeah.
If you're off at all at that kind of speed, you're just crashing straight into the moon.
16,000 miles an hour. Yeah.
They
crash landing head first.
Down enough so that the moon.
I mean, the precision of it is insane. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying.
I think it's highly possible, and I think we could be doing it. But at the very least, the content that they're releasing that is allegedly from it is not real.
Well, and that's the original moon landing. That was one of my big things too. Was like the stuff they released. There's no way. Yeah. That had to be in a studio, but that doesn't mean they didn't do it. I'm just saying what they released wasn't what we were getting. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Next current event. Have you? So okay, I was in Mr. Bravo's room, and he was driving.
Bravo, man. He's a good dude.
He is.
He's so calm.
He was on his way home.
Just chill. He's a calming dude.
He was on his way home, and he had stopped in a gas station to sleep a little bit because he's starting to feel tired.
Right.
And he had the radio going, and he just left the live open, and all of us were just kind of chatting in his live.
Yeah.
And you hear the radio switches over to commercials, and then it switches to news, sharing the news, and then he gets a TikTok violation for sharing unverified information.
That is hilarious.
As misinformation from the news.
So the news was releasing and he got a warning. Flagged for misinformation.
He got a flag for the local news on the radio. On TikTok.
Great. Well, that tells you everything you need to know about the media right there. Bam. They're fighting themselves.
They literally.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Did you see Shattern is I haven't seen verified that it was or wasn't an April Fool's Day thing. It didn't look like it. That they're going to host one of 6 cities in Nebraska that gets to host a artifact from the Smithsonian.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
My question is, why is the Smithsonian all of a sudden need to come to Shadron for
because they listened to the show and they heard us talking about we're going to do a Bigfoot investigation in the Shadron State Park.
We better get there. And
we better get out there before Smithsonian gets out there, because that's what they're doing. They're coming out and they're trying to stop us from our investigation.
Wouldn't that be wild if they actually were?
I'm telling you, man, more people listen than we think. I know it's funny. That would be crazy.
That'd be hilarious.
We create so many fake scenarios in our brains.
Personally, yeah, it's weird because I do feel like even the Smithsonian, they have actual philanthropic, like, it is a museum. There is somebody works at the Smithsonian who runs a museum, and that is actually what their job is. Somebody else works at the Smithsonian, and that their job allegedly is to hide artifacts.
And we have talked about this, about how, it's the Star Wars Death Star theory. There are a handful of people running the show, and everybody else just works there. They think they're doing the right thing. They're doing good stuff. Even the worst of the worst did great things. You've got these huge cartel leaders down in South America that are praised in some of the towns they live in because they bring money and they run hospitals and they do all these nice philanthropical things. But underneath it, they're doing other things. Now, I'm not comparing the Smithsonian to that, because I know they're listening. Smithsonian.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
You guys are amazing. They do great things. They're amazing. They should do the cool things.
You should let us come see those sub-levels of your storage and check it out, just for funsies.
Yeah. The last thing, I could save. I'm trying to figure out what I could save and what I can't. I'll save Palm Beach Pete for next week.
Palm Beach Pete.
So apparently they've been finding astronomical amount of ticks lately.
Yeah.
In like cattle farmers have been noticing
Somebody
them.
was talking about that.
So they're finding they're using the term boxes of ticks.
We were talking about it at school the other day, because we've got some people that that work in the schools that work on ranches and things. They said the ticks that are just ridiculous. Like, you can't even go outside, and you can just walk outside, and on the cement they're just hanging out, just ticks everywhere.
It's wild. Yeah. Okay, now let's call this a coincidence.
Okay.
Just for the fun of the show.
Right.
Pfizer just came out with a vaccine for Lyme disease.
Cam, you know what ticks carry?
Is what I'm thinking of. I don't know. Lyme disease?
Lyme disease.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
I'm so good at this.
See, he knows. He's good at this game. Coincidence. Just coincidence.
Pure coincidence.
Just a coincidence.
Nothing in our world ever. That was a weird voice. I don't like it. I'm never going to do that again. I apologize.
I liked it.
Okay. Never.
No, never mind.
Never again.
Have you ever watched those videos? They're like top 10. Like, this guy, he's in the one that of the enema, and then he went and did this, and that's what happened. And then he turned around and he found a
Those
tick.
drive me nuts. Oh, like the guy tells like scary stories.
Yeah.
He's like, and then they walked into the room.
There's a picture back here, and you can decide for yourself what it is.
Is it a ghost?
So bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's we've talked about current events way longer.
Some good current events.
I still have. Crazy. I'm only halfway done with my current events. Yeah. This week there was a lot of current events.
A lot going on.
Makes me wonder why. Okay, so Artemis 2 gets launched,
right?
And all of a sudden, I have more current events than I've had in a long time.
I know. We talked about
Artemis
that too.
2.
What are we distracting from? If this is a distraction, what are they distracting us from? Yeah.
What's the distraction?
Because it seemed like that Artemis thing came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It seems like the Artemis thing, you would think there would be some build up to that. And it just came out of nowhere.
And I even thought that they had rescheduled it a couple times. Because I feel like I saw maybe.
Like, you had to search for it. It wasn't anything that was popping up. Like, you had to look for stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's so crazy.
It's weird.
I mean, this is a big deal. Like, why was it not more of a big deal? You know, it's crazy.
Exactly. Yep. It is weird. Maybe it's to hide the mass coronal ejection coming from the sun.
It could be.
Maybe it's going to disrupt things here in a few days.
To give us something to look at while the apocalypse starts.
Yeah. All right, so let's get going on the show. We are still talking about weird events. I know we hinted last week that we were going to talk about dragons.
Yeah.
And we've been hinting at that for a while. But again,
we want to make sure everything's in place. Like we always say, we try to keep it quality and try to make sure that, that the people we want to be here are going to be here.
Yes.
And
and we want
logistic stuff. So.
We want Courtney and Phil to be on the show when we talk about dragons, because it's a big enough topic. We might have to do a couple weeks worth.
Right.
And it's a big enough, fun enough. Toilet. There's stuff in the bathroom.
Yay. All right. I'll be
there
back.
might be a towel on the floor in the bathroom you could use.
Chaos.
He spilled his drink. Party foul. Dang. What a loser.
Now it's just me and you.
Yeah, what are we going to talk about, Camden? Did you do any research?
No, I didn't even know we were going to do the podcast today, man.
Nice.
You
just here for the ride?
Yeah.
You're just here for the fun.
I was here for the weights, not the talk.
Oh yeah, we did get some good weightlifting in. I unironically, maybe ironic. Is that ironic? That now all of a sudden we're done with the weight room and my energy level came back up. But we were finishing up lifting and my energy, maybe I just was hungry.
That could be.
Because when we got home, I took protein shake.
I've noticed too, like we've been on a high protein thing lately. And I've noticed that like my body is processing protein quick.
Yeah.
Like, and I got to keep doing the protein because I think my body's getting used to it and likes it.
I think so too. And all I had was a rough protein bar at like 8 this morning, and so I wonder if I need to
that's what it was.
I should have drank a protein shake beforehand. Oh well, because now I feel great. I could I'm like, let's just go back to the gym. All right, so this week we're kind of staying in Asia-ish.
Yeah,
and on theme with our eventual dragon episodes. But Mike threw out, and I miscommunicated. I thought he was saying, hey, let's talk about the Dyatlov Pass.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let's do that. I'll pick a place that is close to the Dyatlov Pass. And so I picked Lake Baikal. Baikal.
Cool. Yeah.
Lake Baikal. There we go. Gotta have the Russian accent.
Right.
Vemana Lake Baikal.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And so then Mike was like,
because I threw out Russia, I was like, well, Russia, that's Asia. Let's do. We haven't done anything in Russia, and then I think Courtney threw out the pass, and then I was like, yeah, and then we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, and then I was like,
afterwards. But I know a lot about that. I know a lot about that anyway because I think it's a cool story.
I think it is a really
interesting
cool story.
So and there's a lot to
there's
that.
There it is.
Chainsaw. I don't know if they can hear that. If it's really quiet, it's because we just got startled by a chainsaw. Again, it's not a haunted house. Dyatlov Pass Incident is such an interesting story.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is really crazy because it makes it's a combination of weird mixed with Soviet Union secrecy.
Yeah, because it's
you combine
Cold
those two.
War, it's it's just
you combine those two things. Yeah, and
every theory you could possibly think of has its place in this story.
Yes,
like everything from aliens to cryptids to KGB government things to everything seems to have a place in this.
Yeah, let's just go through the incident. If you're not familiar,
go ahead.
Are you familiar with the incident?
I'm not.
All right, well, I will tell this to you, okay?
Okay.
That way the average listener that doesn't know. So, Dyatlov Pass, it was Mount Kolat-Syakhl, which means the Dead Mountains, which is the Ural Mountains in the USSR at this point in time in 1959, okay? So, basic facts. The night of February 1st through the 2nd, 1959 is when this happened. It was a group of 9 very experienced hikers led by Igor Dyatlov. So I think that's why they're called the Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah, they named the pass after him. It didn't have a name before that. Yeah.
So the skill level was expert, grade 3 expedition, the highest difficulty. And the outcome is 9 of the 10 were found dead under very bizarre circumstances. Okay?
Yeah.
Timeline of events. Journey begins January 25th. They arrive in Ivdel, and then they travel north. On January 22nd or 27th, they begin their trek to the mountain. January 28th, one member, Yuri Yudin, is it Yuri? Because there are Y's or V's in Russia. Yuri?
Okay.
Is it? Or is it Yuri? Yeah, it's Yuri. It's like Yuri.
I think, yeah.
No, Yuri Yudin turns back due to illness.
Their V's or W's.
Okay, so then are there Y's, V's?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so Yuri Yudin. Yuri Yudin sounds very like yodelish.
It sounds Swedish.
Yuri Yudin. Yuri Yudin. He went to the country, got sick.
Sounds very Swiss.
Yes, Yuri Yudin.
Okay.
He turns back due to illness, and he is the only survivor.
Huh.
Final camp, January 31st through the 1st. They set camp on the exposed slope of the Kholat Syakhl, not a forest shelter area of the mountain. They cut into the snow to pitch the tent. Okay?
Yeah.
Apparently that was important.
Right.
Then the night, everything goes wrong. Something causes all 9 hikers to cut open their tent from the inside and flee into negative 30-degree weather. They left behind perfectly neatly still in rows all of their boots, all of their coats, all of their food, and all of their gear. Then that's all we know that's all we know.
Yeah.
That they cut it from the inside and they left everything. Experienced hikers don't make that mistake.
No.
You grab your gear.
Not unless it's an emergency.
It would have to be an emergency.
Right.
But the fact that they found the tent still in its exact shape says that, like, whatever the emergency was, clearly wasn't actually that big of an emergency.
Yeah.
So a perceived emergency. So the scene is discovered because eventually, because they're on this expedition, they're not supposed to come back for a long time.
Right.
And so then when all of a sudden they don't show back up, then they begin to investigate it. So time has passed by the time they ever make it out there. So when they come upon the tent, they find it intact, in shape.
Yeah.
Slashed from the inside out. All of the shoes, coats, and supplies left neatly behind. And there's no sign of a struggle inside of the tent. Just looks like they and took out.
Right.
So faster than unzipping or untying the tent. Just, we got to get out.
Yeah.
Then they found the footprints, and the footprints, they found the footprints, and the footprints showed a very organized, orderly walking. That wasn't bad.
Yeah. But they were in socks and barefoot.
Barefoot and socks, but it was very orderly and not chaotic.
Yeah.
And this included, as you said, barefoot prints and sock-only prints. They then the tracks lead 1.5 kilometers, which is like roughly what, like 3 miles?
No, other direction.
Other direction, so half.
About 8 miles.
An eighth of a mile?
Yeah.
8/10 of a
about
mile.
8 miles. Wait, 1.5?
1.5 kilometers.
Oh, yeah, so that's it's about
oh, yeah, you're right. So
three-quarters of a mile.
yeah. So
about
be like,
3/4 of a mile.
Yeah. Okay. So the tracks lead less than a mile away to the forest, and then they just disappear. Again, nothing that they found looked panicked, looked very organized. So then they find the bodies, different groups. The first group they find under a cedar tree. 2 bodies, nearly naked, found by a makeshift fire. There were tree branches broken up to 15 feet high above them. And then group 2, they find between the tree and the tent. So here's the location of group 1. Here's the tent, group 1, group 2, or group 2, group 1. I don't know why it explains.
And going back to those first 2, they had like char marks on their fingers. Mm-hmm. One of them had his own flesh in his mouth.
I forgot about that.
He had a chunk of flesh in his own mouth.
Yeah.
Like of his own flesh. You know, it's weird.
Yeah,
weird stuff.
It's really weird
stuff. Yeah.
And then group 2 they find between the tree and the tent, which was 3 bodies, including Dyatlov. And these were found spaced out as if they were trying to return to the tent. They died mid-movement in the snow. Yeah. So, like, they just, like, died. Huh. And so it was like so the theory is that they recognized that the danger had passed, but then they died trying to walk to the tent in the cold.
To the tent.
But, again, they were on path, so it's not like they, like, strayed away from the path. Like, they were between the two.
Right.
So it's not like they walked for like 10 miles and got lost.
Yeah.
They died between the tree line or between the first group and then the tent.
Yep.
On their way back to the tent, apparently. And then third group found in a ravine months later. They were found under 13 feet of snow. They were also wearing more clothing, but they were taken from the dead companions.
Yeah.
So they had to have outlived the companions.
So that is like time has passed.
So the theory, yeah.
And their clothes had some radioactive. Their clothes were radioactive too. So that adds to the mysterious. weirdness.
Yes, I didn't even got to that. Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So the causes of death, officially, according to the Soviet Russia, 6 died of hypothermia and 3 died from massive trauma.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That was the official report.
That's the official report.
And then when they did another investigation, and the second investigation, they said by acts of nature we can't explain, or something like that was the official, something like that. It was basically saying we don't know what happened.
Their injuries, the ones that were under the massive trauma, were what they called car crash injuries.
Yeah. That
they had crushed ribs, skull fractures, but no external wounds.
Right.
It was all internal, yeah.
Doctors said that a force would be like getting hit in a high-speed collision.
Yep. Yep.
Another issue with the bodies, but this one could be easily explained, was that the bodies had by the way, content alert in case you're sensitive to this. Some of the bodies had missing eyes, missing tongue, missing tissue. But they can explain that possibly could just be from scavengers who did eventually come upon the bodies.
Right. Or just general being out there for months, the body starts to do things. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So the radiation, upon investigation.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where the story gets real weird. And this is where I get real interested into this, Cam. You ready for this? So as Mike's talked about, they found radiation on the clothing, but not all the clothing. Mm-hmm. Some garments had radiation, some did not. So even it'd be like they're wearing, their undergarments and then a jacket, or not even a jacket, just their shirt, and just their undergarments would have radiation. It was just like it didn't have a rhyme or reason.
Right.
Some garments had radiation, some did not. Which that spawns in a billion different theories of aliens.
Yeah.
And maybe less crazy, maybe like a nuclear, like a spicy ballistic kind of test.
Yeah.
Cold War, Soviet Russia. Maybe it was hidden by the government that they were doing some nuclear big bomb testing out there.
Go ahead. I've got so many theories that I came across that are just great. I'm wondering which ones you came across.
Okay,
as we go.
So I'm talking.
I don't want to pull the lid too quick.
I started talking theories a little faster than I wanted to.
Yeah.
So just facts. So witnesses from nearby saw orange lights in the sky, glowing spheres. Mass reports of them.
And some of the pictures that the hikers had weird orbs and things like that in the pictures.
These were seen by witnesses that night that it would have occurred.
Yeah.
But again, they didn't know these guys were missing, but they still had reported the orange lights in the sky from nearby.
Yeah. It was a totally separate report. Just happened to be.
And it happened to be in the vicinity of the area of where they were.
Right.
Then the paradoxical undressing is what they call it, is that some people would be quick to go, well, when you get hypothermic, you tend to take your clothes off.
Yeah.
Problem is, they're experienced hikers. They know better.
Right.
And two, the way that they were undressed didn't have anything to do with that because they left their clothes.
Right. Yeah. They left like they were getting ready for bed. Like they were getting ready for bed in their undies. Yeah.
They started off without putting on adequate protection. And that also doesn't explain the severe trauma.
Right.
You don't look like you got in a car crash.
Yep.
Because you got hypothermic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
There's no sign of an avalanche that occurred. So it's not like, and again, because they duck into. So maybe they were afraid, they heard what they thought was an avalanche and they ran.
Yeah.
But again, even if you do that and there's no sign of an avalanche and you begin making your way back, you don't just
keep going,
die unexpectedly on the way back.
Yep.
Then the case was closed by the Soviets with no real answers, and they closed it with this quote. Well, in English, but it was probably in Russian. But quote, an unknown compelling force.
Yeah.
That's it. They were just like, oh, a force, something.
Yep.
And then the case closed it.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Yep.
The group initially, so the split patterns don't make sense for experienced hikers. Experienced hikers know to stick together.
Right.
They split into subgroups, and they built a fire at one point in time. They attempted to build shelter and tried to return. So again, kind of counts out the idea of hypothermia if they were skilled enough in being barefoot and in socks, decided to build a fire and attempt a shelter.
How far away did they get from the tent?
I think so. The tree line where they found the first group was 0.7 of a mile ish, 1.5 kilometers. So then group 2 would have been found about halfway in between. So they'd have been like
even then, like
a quarter of a mile away.
Why start? Like maybe
they could probably see the tent from where they were.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, if they could probably see that it was fine, and maybe at that point, because I mean they had time to build a fire and such.
And even that the only real indicator we have is that they were thinking clearly.
Yeah,
because they were trying to build things, so they wouldn't be undressing and trying to build a fire. They'd have been like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're undressing because you think you're getting hot because you're hypothermic, you're not going to be trying to build a fire to stay warm.
Yeah.
You're going to be thinking through, oh, I'm getting hypothermic. I need to build a fire. I better keep my clothes on. So their missing clothes had nothing to do with them being hypothermic.
Right.
So that is pretty much the extent of, and then in one picture, there is a picture where there is a humanoid-looking object that looks ginormous and a lot like a Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they're thinking Yeti. Yeah, there's one picture. Looks like a Yeti.
That they took?
And it's been authenticated. It's not a hoax. Like, it's been authenticated that it's from them. Now, I have seen things that says it's just one of them and they were messing around, and like
it does not look like one of them.
If they hype it, if they like do the thing with the close-ups and all that you can tell it's just somebody in a like a suit jacket or something. Like,
I don't think it does look like that. It looks like,
but even then,
it looks a lot like the that California thing that's in the news right now.
Yeah.
Even if hypothetically they had like the suit of it.
Let me see if it flips. Did it flip?
Yeah, it does look like a person, but
it's like but they're uniform and like huge. Like the size of the tree that they're standing next to, like that's.
But in trees, I mean, trees are relative too. That's the other hard thing about the woods too. Trees are relative.
That's true.
Like it's like trying to tell how big a bird is when it's in the sky. It's almost impossible because it depends on how far away it is and. Yeah, so they're saying it's one thing I looked at said it's an authentic photo, but they think it's just one of them standing by a tree with their heavy coat and their snow pants and their hood on and everything too. So I don't know.
Looking up close,
It's
man, it doesn't look like a person though.
Yeah, it's a crazy picture.
It looks like fur.
Yeah.
Here, let me see.
This is kind of a blurry.
But it's a blurry.
In.
That's the problem. Is when you
it's not
zoom
clear.
in, it's blurry.
And I will admit, 100%, you cannot declare that is a Bigfoot or a person from it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really make it.
It's compelling and it's an interesting picture amongst the other.
It
pictures.
is weird. Yeah.
The other thing against that too is that you would think if they saw something like that and they took a picture of it, it would be in one of their journals. Right. And it's not mentioned in any of their journals as them finding any kind of Yeti.
Yeah,
unless they didn't know they took a picture of it.
But one of the journals is missing.
That's
one
true,
of the cameras and one of the journals. They didn't never because they each had a journal and they each had a camera. One of the cameras and one of the journals never was serviced. Now you know whose camera and journal didn't show up?
Who?
3 of these guys. If you research it, 3 of these guys joined this hiking crew like the week before they went.
Oh, yeah.
3 of them went and joined. Now, 2 of those guys worked in a lab. The third guy, whose journal and stuff was missing, the third guy had just joined the other 2 in this lab they worked at. And that lab did like research and stuff right next door to a nuclear research facility that had a big accident like a few weeks before this. So there was a nuclear leak.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so, so that's one of the theories too, is that, that's where the radioactive part of things came from, was that they worked in that lab when they had that meltdown. But, so the radioactive thing too, one of the theories is that during the Cold War, because the American spies were over there, the CIA was over there, that the KGB would hide radioactive clothing and radioactive things in places that don't matter to distract the Americans and get them away from the stuff that matters. And so there was a theory that those 3 were KGB, and that's why they joined this crew, and they were going to plant some radioactive stuff out there so that the Americans would go looking for it and they wouldn't discover where the real stuff's at. So that's one of the theories too, a little more down to earth theory than the Bigfoot alien thing. But yeah.
One theory that I think is really intriguing is actually a theory along the lines of the nuclear testing that the orange blobs were a nuclear device going off.
Right.
But actually a new form of a delirium fog.
Right.
That the delirium fog rolled in, they were breathing it, they began panicking and freaking out. In their panic and freaking out, one of them cuts the tent open, leads them out. They then panic, freak out, get out. They go to this place, and then they begin to self beat each other up.
Yeah.
And then the ones who lived, who were it almost created 2 factions almost.
Right.
And then the ones that lived, some of them decided they were going to go back to the tent and start all, and get all the stuff and whatever. Right. And then the other group panicked and ran away. But that doesn't explain the ones that ran away in 2 months' time. Yeah. You could have died from 100 different things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't explain how the group walking back then.
Well, there is a theory too. So along that brain fog thing, there's a theory too when all this sound stuff started coming out that we've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
The sound and controlling stuff with sound came out. So there was a group that went over that analyzed the wind patterns in that valley. And they said the way the wind whips down that hill, the dead mountain, the way the wind whips down that, it creates this weird. You ever drive in your car and you have the window cracked and you hear that whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
And it creates that kind of sound, but at a super sub-level frequency that you can't actually hear. And it causes people to panic. And so people panic when they visit this place. And so they have a theory that maybe, like you said, they panicked. They couldn't tell what this was, and they freaked out, and they think, it's a Yeti or it's a creature, something's hunting us. We need to get out of here. And so they freak out and they cut themselves out of the tent.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Now, when you said the stuff was in complete order, like their shoes are in order and all their gear's in order, their tent was smashed.
Was it?
Everything else was perfectly in order. Right?
Let me verify.
I don't know that it was smashed, but it definitely was not up and intact when they discovered it.
Which, they cut
it open and everything too, but yeah. But yeah, so, gosh, I wish I could tell you the year, but they did
so it says,
oh yeah, go ahead.
The Dyatlov tent was not smashed in the sense of being crushed or shredded by an external impact, but it was found collapsed, partially buried in snow and ripped open from the inside.
Right.
The hikers' belongings were found intact inside, and a plate of food uneaten remained, indicating a sudden panic to get out. So it was collapsed, snow on top of it, but not crushed.
Right.
In a sense. Okay.
Yeah. So the most compelling theory I heard, it didn't come out that long ago. There were some people that analyzed, and here's how they came up with their analysis. Now this sounds silly, and but these guys that were analyzing it got this idea from the movie Frozen, which is crazy to begin with. But the guys who did the animation for Frozen actually did a lot of studying on how snow works, how snow moves, because they wanted it to feel like organic and real, right? Yeah. And so these guys went to these guys and asked them to reconstruct this thing and come up with a theory. And what they came up with was the way this mountain is at about a pitch of about a 23-degree pitch, right? Mm-hmm. Avalanches generally happen at 20 degrees. This is at 23. And they've already proven that an avalanche didn't happen.
Right.
But they said because the wind whips so nasty down that what it does is it creates an ice wall, a 3 or 4 foot thick ice wall on top of snow. And it's like slick. Well, they dug into it at the base of it, right? And so they're in their tent, and while they're in their tent getting ready to sleep, they got all their stuff. And they said it's the same idea of like when you have two books sitting on each other, you can tilt them. Mm-hmm. And then at about 20 degrees, depending on the friction, the top book, the entire book slides off.
Yeah.
Right? So they're saying that ice shelf, hundreds of feet of ice shelf, just slid off the top of this mountain up kind of over the top of their tent, right? Over the top of their tent, trapping them underneath this wall. And so they're panicked, cutting themselves out of the tent because they're stuck under this wall, right? And as they're going, they think maybe it hit a few of them on the way by, on the way down, hit them. But that's why none of their stuff was disturbed, because it went over the top of them, of their stuff, right? So they panic. They've got a second setup of an emergency supply in the woods. They go to find it. They can't find it. Right. So they start climbing the tree because there was some of their skin and stuff was found in the trees. They start climbing the trees to break off branches because the low branches are too wet to start a fire.
Right, yeah.
They start the fire. They've got hypothermia. They've got frostbite. They can't feel. So they're, biting their own skin, putting their hands in the fire, trying to stay warm. Two of them die. So the rest of them panic. They start heading back. They don't make it. Obviously, right? The other crew goes down towards the ravine, in that little ravine, trying to find a pocket, some kind of like snow cave, right?
Yeah.
So they find one, they dig down underneath, and they dig down into this little cave. They don't realize, and they start a fire. They don't realize that above them is a fast-running water stream. And this is confirmed that there's a stream that runs through there.
Yeah.
Right? There's a fast-running water stream, but it's running above them, right? So their fire makes it collapse. And we're talking 10 to 20 feet worth of snow.
Yeah.
Weighs approximately 50 tons.
Right.
Coming down on top of them. It'd be like getting hit by a truck.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that explains the crushed skulls and the crushed ribs.
I thought the crushed ones were the ones up by the tree.
No.
Okay.
They had, I believe they had injuries. They had injuries, but the ones that were in the ravine had like crushed ribs and things like that.
Okay.
But I think they did say that maybe the ice wall hit some of them on the way down, so there was concussed and they were beat up and everything else too.
Okay, massive internal hemorrhaging, severe skull fractures.
But of all the theories, that was the one that kind of made the most sense to me. I was like,
that makes a lot of sense.
I mean? Like, but more than anything, not even like the ice shelf thing, even just the panic thing, trying to get to the backup supplies, didn't make it, so we head back. The radioactive clothing thing. They found, too, that in their lanterns, the fuel they were using in their lanterns was a radioactive fuel. So they think maybe that's where the radioactive, I don't know. That's what these guys said.
Yeah.
So a lot of down to earth that aren't as much fun as some of the other stories.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. The ones that were crushed were the ones that were down.
Yeah.
But even that still doesn't explain the radiation or the light in the sky.
Right. The light in the sky is a totally different. Yeah, this is a weird thing.
No matter what, and I've heard 100 different theories.
Right.
And the crazy thing about it is, even the best theory, there's something that doesn't fit.
Right.
Nuclear testing doesn't fit. The fog stuff doesn't perfectly fit.
Right.
Because then all of a sudden they just went down in the ravine, and then now they were still panicking. Like at what point? And then and even that one, it's like, why were they, if they got crushed on the way back to the tent or died on the way back to the tent? Why? Like, because they were walking towards the tent. There's just too many things that you're just like, okay, where's this line up? And it's where's the missing, stuff?
That's the one thing that's weird too.
Yeah.
There's one journal and one camera missing. Why is it missing? Like, who has it? And did they just not find it? Like, it was somewhere in the woods that, that was the one piece that I was like, that they just kind of glossed over it and didn't try to explain it. But
and when,
like I said, even the radioactive thing, they said, like, in their lanterns, the fuel they were using at the time was low grade, radiation.
And one of the things I found did talk about the slab.
Yeah, the slab avalanche.
Slab avalanche theory, but it said that's not considered an official theory, because it doesn't. Because there are certain aspects that doesn't make sense.
They don't know what they can't explain it. And that's what makes it a theory. We've talked about it here. People sometimes hear a theory and they think that theory equals truth.
Right, yeah.
And that isn't true. Theory means this is looking at the evidence. This could have been what happened.
So, according to this, the originally,
yeah,
the slope angle seemed too small to be an avalanche, and that the tent wasn't buried heavily. Later, the slab avalanche theory was proposed, which is still debated.
Right.
And the slab avalanche, which is the most it is the most accepted today. The snow collapse damaged tent, which there would have been snow on top of it then. The problems with it are the minimal snow evidence of a slab avalanche.
Yeah.
So there's no snow evidence of it. The injuries don't quite fully match. And then the last is, why would they walk away calmly afterwards?
Right.
The calmly walking away back to the tent part is definitely one of my... And even calmly, if they were to calmly walk down... Yeah,
you were panicked enough to cut yourself out of the tent, but then you're walking calmly. Or was it part of their training to, like, let's stay together, let's stay calm, let's go, I don't know.
But again, they still didn't stay together.
It's one of those things that'll never be explained because nobody was there and there's no way to prove any of it. It's just all theories. Yeah.
Yep. And again, you have the orbs being seen,
and that's
in the sky by all the other people.
Wild card that, like, nobody, and I've heard, like, ball lightning, and I've heard a bunch of other things like that. But ball lightning is a theory too. Like, nobody's proved that ball lightning is a real thing,
right?
Yep.
And the other aspect is the weird government cover-up too.
Yeah.
For slab avalanche, that doesn't seem like the government would be like,
which is what pushed people to think maybe the KGB had something to do with not their disappearance per se, but the reason they were where they were at, and the reason that certain people were with them.
Maybe. So here, let me throw something out there.
Okay.
What if the large orb in the sky was the military doing some testing?
Yeah.
They accidentally triggered the avalanche in order to avoid having to take accountability for the avalanche killing them. They then came up with they dismissed it as this is weird, and then moved on and sealed it hidden.
Yeah.
That way they didn't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
But secondary to that, though, so now you explain that, but now what about the weird radiation?
Right.
So now you've got weird radiation, and now adding people who are infiltrating the group, that now doesn't fit with the radiation part, because they would have known they were there and they wouldn't have been firing rockets in that vicinity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
There's just
what's funny too with the government stuff too. Like the families pushed for the government to do another investigation, and they said we just want answers. Can you investigate? And the government was like, no.
Yeah, the government had no interest in continuing.
Nope, we're not doing it. Sorry, not worth our resources and blah blah blah. Yeah,
and now since then. Long ways away now without any of the information, like you wouldn't know exactly where they were, trees have changed, stuff like
and
that.
You can go tour it. They've gone a tour and stuff, which is crazy.
And a lot of people have gone.
You can go walk the path that they walked, and that's creepy to me. I don't know people doing stuff like that. Like, let's go walk the path of somebody who, this horrible thing that happened to these people. Yeah. I mean, I'm as curious as anybody, but that just seems sketchy to me. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT.
All right.
Okay, so I'm asking, what do you think it was based on your observation of the facts, not information you've received from the internet?
I like that.
Okay, let's see what it says. All right, no fluff, no internet theories, just what the raw physical evidence forces us to conclude. What the facts require, not opinions. They experienced a sudden, credible threat. They did not behave like people being chased.
Yep.
Footprints, walking, not running. Yeah, that is interesting. They were walking, not running. Right. They stayed together. They moved in control. And that's another thing about the slab avalanche. Why would their footprints have been discovered?
Well, the slab would have popped right on top of the tent, and then if they could dig their way out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never seen.
But even then, there would be a large.
I just think of like when a whole sheet of ice comes off your roof. That's what I'm picturing, but like on a giant scale.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a slab avalanche, so I don't know exactly how that worked mechanically. Yeah.
Whatever the threat was, it was either temporary or environmental, not pursuing them. They regained composure afterward. They built a fire, climbed a tree. Shared clothing, or did they climb the tree? Shared clothing, tried to return. This was rational survival thinking. At least one later event caused extreme trauma, crushed ribs, skull, no external wounds. That requires massive blunt force, but distributed, not sharp or localized. What the combination means, pure logic. To satisfy all of those constraints, the cause must trigger immediate evacuation, not actively pursue them, allow time for regrouping, later produce massive compressive force, leave minimal external trace. The only mechanism that fits all of that, a sudden snowpack failure, slab avalanche, or partial collapse, and a secondary terrain hazard afterwards.
So you go.
What likely happened, reconstructed. Phase 1, the trigger. They cut into the slope to pitch the tent. They destabilized a layered snow slab. During the night, a snow shift occurred. Not an avalanche, but a pressure collapse.
So let me pause you for a second. There was even reports of hurricane-level winds blowing through the mountains on that night that it happened in weather reports. And so they think, that could have been what, the tent, destabilized it. I can't even talk. Destabilized it, and then that hurricane force wind is what knocked it loose.
What if it was just the wind moving the tent, and they thought it was a hurricane,
and they just
thought it was an avalanche,
panicked and bailed,
and they just panicked.
But again, it doesn't seem like they were like panicked.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, panic looks different when you're a professional.
Right.
Too. I mean, when you're trained to stay calm, you can still panic on the inside and not look like you're panicking, I suppose. Yep. Yeah.
So they evacuate immediately. Phase 2, controlled retreat. They walk downhill, not run. They head for trees, best survival move. They expect to return shortly. Phase 3, survival attempt. They built a fire, climb a tree to locate tent. Strip clothing from those who die first. Phase 4, secondary fatal event. This is the key piece most people miss. That the ravine group with most injuries likely fell into a snow-covered ravine. So he's thinking that they maybe just
fell in it. Yeah.
Or collapsed snow bridge. that explains the crushes. And then phase 5, final deaths. Exposure kills the remaining members, those trying to return to the tent. Again, if they're only a quarter of a mile away from the tent at this time, that's not a long distance.
No.
And for them to go from we're good enough to walk back to gone in less than a quarter of a mile, still en route.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
You know what, though? In hurricane blizzard, though, like a quarter of a mile is a really long ways.
I agree.
That level of blizzard.
But again, the biggest danger is because you end up losing track of your destination.
Yeah.
And you wander.
Right.
Not necessarily still in line with footprints visible.
Well, and like talking.
And again, if their footprints were visible, could it really have been that bad?
Yeah.
Because you would think that the hurricane level stuff would have just blown their footprints right out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, just a weird thing that doesn't quite fit.
It's weird. Well, and like so like other hiking experts said that when I was looking at stuff like this, they said that normally when an avalanche happens, staying in your tent is a death sentence. So you are trained to get out of your tent as quick as you can. He said, but in this case, because of all the conditions and the things that were going on, those experts said they should have used judgment, and the one thing that would have saved them is if they would have just stayed in their tent,
right,
and waited till morning. You know, but yeah, I am no expert, so I have no idea.
I think another question is, if they were that experienced as hikers, why would they have risked destabilizing a region by digging into?
I don't know that they knew they were doing that, you know, per se.
Right. You would think they would. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, one way or the other, the Dyatlov setup, and again, you throw in that picture, you throw in the weird orbs, you throw in the lights, you throw in the weird details, and now all of a sudden you have a situation where one way or the other, even that, I feel like that's the best theory I've heard now.
Right. Yeah.
But even that, I have so many questions.
Yeah. Well, and then you take decades of people putting in their own 2 cents and adding theories, and then you have, you know, the government denying things, and you've got, you know, that just creates a lot of suspicious thoughts, and, it creates its own conspiracy, theories behind the theories, just because, it's not solved. It's all theories. Even your best theory is still a theory, There's no way to prove, because it's never happened again anywhere else, so we don't know.
Okay, so now I'm asking ChatGPT, what about the lights and radiation? Oh yeah, the lights were pictured.
That's what I said. They took pictures. Yeah, they took
locals
pictures of
it. So it's not like they were just
stories of, hey, we saw these things and people reported this stuff. No, people took pictures of those things.
So so if they were parachute flares, could the wind really have been that bad? Because why would the military be doing parachute?
It was like a wind vortex because of the mountain right there. It wasn't that bad above them, from what I understand.
Well, but still, why would the military be doing jumps that close to that place?
Yeah.
So I don't think that parachute flares make sense, to me.
Yeah.
The USSR was testing rockets in that region, but again, why are you testing rockets? I don't know. It's just they don't. Again,
there's literally like nothing out there. So we do that too here. I mean, we go out in the middle of the desert and test stuff out in the middle of the ocean and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be, but then again, that if people knew they were out there, surely they would be like, okay, we probably shouldn't be doing this stuff.
Yeah. One way or the other, there's answers, but I just don't feel like there's a clear cut. I feel like once you start throwing in things like, oh well, possibly this and this and this and this and this and this and then this and then this and then this and then this, it gets to the point where it's like, that takes a leap of faith to fully believe.
It's just such a layer of circumstances, and like everything having to line up just right for it to come out. For the story to end in such a tragic way like that.
Right.
It's just weird. Yeah.
All right, we've still got a little time.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Lake Baikal, Siberia.
I don't know nothing about this lake.
Most controversial deep lake on the earth.
Controversial, you say?
Controversial.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I like controversial.
This lake is considered the oldest lake on Earth. Its age is theorized, if you believe the Earth is this old, is between 25 and 30 million years old. Most lakes last about 10,000 years.
Okay.
So this lake is by far the oldest.
I was going to say, how do we time lakes? But that makes sense because lakes dry up, lakes shift.
Yeah. This lake is a depth of 5,387 feet, which is deeper than many oceans. Lake. Deeper than oceans. Mm-hmm. Crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So it sits on a continental rift zone where the Earth is literally just pulling apart. And so some people, I won't get into the conspiracy theories yet. I'm just talking facts now. I'm just talking facts. Okay. Scientists actually believe that it is still growing deeper every year. So it's not even shoring up. Like it's still actively getting deeper and deeper.
So like almost like that part of Russia is like splitting into two continents kind of deal.
Kind of, yeah. Just right there where the lake is, apparently.
Yeah.
So 80% of the species in this lake are found nowhere else. So it almost has a quote-unquote alien level biodiversity.
So it's like the Madagascar of water.
Yes. There is a freshwater seal, only freshwater seal on Earth, is found in the Baikal seal. Or it's the Baikal seal, which is a seal of this lake. It's huge. This lake is huge. 25% of the Earth's fresh water that is not in glaciers is found in this one lake.
Wow.
This lake holds a quarter of the
fresh water.
Available fresh water.
Yeah.
A quarter in this one lake. It contains more water than all of the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
It's not bigger in surface area than the Great Lakes, but because of the depth, and so its total volume is bigger. It has hundreds of lakes that feed into it and one river that feeds out. Because of this, they say that the life of the water in this lake lasts about 330 years. So water that comes in spends about 330 years in it on average before it escapes. So water molecules on average spend, and they can go through, they can calculate based off of volume in, volume out.
Yeah.
Which makes it the longest lasting water body on Earth, not saltwater body. They have transparent fish with no scales in this thing. There's a sponge ecosystem. So it almost like acts like it was a saltwater, but it's freshwater.
Yeah.
So it almost has diversity of saltwater with freshwater water.
Yeah.
Crazy. The controversy is that the species there cannot be explained through evolution. Scientists literally look at them and go, I don't know.
Yeah.
No clue how we got here with this.
Aliens.
Some organisms behave in extreme, like alien-like ways in which they like exist. There's every winter, the entire lake freezes over.
That's got to be cold to freeze a lake that deep.
Freezes over completely. Under up to like 6 feet of ice. The whole thing. Yeah. So it kind of has that ice road trucker vibe.
Right.
So during the winter, they build like highways across it and stuff. Yeah. Oh. And so, but the whole thing freezes over. They.
I think, is there a show about them like driving across, and they can only drive like during those winter months, and they can drive across. I want to say there was like a trucking show,
probably
about that.
I'm sure the ice road truckers
maybe it wasn't this lake, but
the ice road truckers might have done a season there.
Yeah,
I mean the ice road trucker show, they go all over the place.
Right, so yeah, I might have seen. When it's frozen, they just drive across it, make a little highway across the water when it's frozen solid.
Lots of methane deposits get trapped under the ice and stuff. So you see lots of methane bubbles and stuff like that from various sources, from decomposing species like animal, like plant matter and animal matter, but also like theorized underground methane pockets.
Right.
We've talked about methane seems to be a weird Bermuda Triangle type thing. Okay. All right. Lots and lots and lots of UFO sightings occur in or near and around this lake. Like, lots. A lot of lighting that occurs underneath the water. Have you heard knocking? I think it's the chainsaw people.
Yeah, they're just
trying to get a hold of
we got chainsaws and knocking.
This episode, the whole day has been crazy. So if you hear talking in the background, it's probably Courtney answering the door. But they see lights underneath. The sightings are of objects entering and leaving the lake.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff like that. They also have tons of reports of magnetic anomalies. Mm-hmm. So we've got the trifecta here. Mm-hmm. We've got the Bermuda buildup. Anywhere that has these three things, there's Bermuda Triangle lore.
Yep.
You've got the methane. You've got the magnetic sphere, whatever. And actually, those two things pretty much. Yeah. So you don't even need the third thing.
Well, and the UFO thing pops up quite a bit.
The lights, the orbs, and stuff
lights,
like that. Yeah. It is classified as a power place or a vortex. So it's linked to global, quote unquote, conspiracy theorist ley lines and stuff like that. In the wintertime, when the lake is completely frozen over, circles, perfect circles, you can see the image here.
Yep.
Perfect circles form over like miles of the earth, over the lake, over miles of the lake. Just these perfect circles. Some people, their theory is that it's from warm water currents coming up and creating circles, but they're perfect circles. So that kind of doesn't really answer that. There are bottomless zones, areas where they have not actually mapped out the bottom, and lots of local legends, lots of other things. So now let's get to the grounded, verified facts, and then we'll pass into the conspiracy theories. Because Mike, you're not even ready for this conspiracy theory.
I'm not ready.
So the verified things: extreme depth and age. It's a very unique biodiversity. There are pollution concerns that could possibly have created some pollutional issues. Methane deposits, ice circles. Now, let's get into the conspiracy theories. So, some people theorize that because the bottom has not fully been mapped out, that there's bottomless zones where they haven't actually mapped out the bottom, that because the earth is like flaying apart, that it connects to an underwater ocean that is made of fresh water. And that underwater ocean, we've had on this episode on the show so many times.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
That's where the aliens live, right? Yeah. We've talked about, there could be alien species that live there that evolved, quote unquote, separately. Or
that's where the kaiju come from, Camden.
Yeah.
Oh.
This animal species being so weird and diverse almost come across as though it's like a bio experiment gone wrong kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. But also, because of the pollution stuff that happened with the government, there's a lot of government secrecy when it comes to this lake. So now we've got cover-ups of everything, including the pollution, to the Russian military covering up what is theorized as underwater humanoids. Yes, Mike. underwater humanoids that have been, quote unquote, spotted hundreds, if not thousands of times.
Mermaids.
So these 9 foot tall.
9 foot tall? That's a big mermaid.
We got giants, bud.
Giant water giants.
We got giants, but they're humans. But they live in and they appear when anybody has seen them. They are wearing silver suits with like a umbrella bubble. It's like a diving suit.
Yeah.
Like an umbrella bubble above their head. 9 foot tall. Okay. It's huge. So one way or the other, this is like a Bigfoot level, like a Bigfoot submerged water suit wearing
weird
entity. So now we can go into the crazier of the theories that it actually connects and that this is the underwater like UFOs and stuff like that that we see, that they connect down underneath and they can go basically anywhere on Earth very fast, and that this is one of the entrances to that underwater world. I wanted to, let me get an image of this. I want to show you the image of these guys so you can see what I'm talking about, because people have drawn them out. They look so interesting. They look really interesting. I want to show you this thing. It's so cool. And every time they're drawn, every time anybody does like a somebody's seen it version of the redrawing it, it comes out pretty similar to this. And if I remember, I'll drop it in the Discord. So yeah, this is like what they look like. So you got this umbrella for oxygen here. I'll show you.
It almost looks like a jellyfish with human body. That's weird.
Yeah, those look weird.
Every time they're drawn very similar to that. Anytime somebody with what do you call it? The ability, like the forensic drawing, whenever they go and they talk to somebody, they come out and draw them pretty similar. There is even a statue that was created and then placed honoring tribute to the underwater people.
Oh, yeah.
At one point in time. Like, this is a big deal lore. Like, and the locals, the lore goes back. Like, this isn't a modern day cryptid. This is and let me get a fact on it, just because I forgot to write down
real quick,
fact.
I've been kind of curious. Anytime we look at a weird place, I've been trying to look at like the polar opposites of these places, just because the poles have got me kind of curious, right? Do you know what the polar opposite of Lake Baikal is?
What?
The Strait of Magellan.
Oh.
Which is interesting, because I don't know if you know this or not. The Strait of Magellan, there's an anomaly in Strait of Magellan. It's the closest point on Earth to the radiation belt. And so there's all kinds of weird anomalies, like satellites can't pass through there because it's too close to the radiation belt. They have to avoid that area above the Strait of Magellan. All kinds of weird anomalies at Strait of Magellan too, and that's the polar opposite of this lake.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. So lore of the people goes back all the way to the indigenous Buryat people.
Okay.
The indigenous Buryat people, they have a couple different lores about the lake, not just the underwater humans, but also the underwater creatures, not necessarily humans, but underwater humanoid creatures. Their local lore goes from that to that the king had a daughter who had a sacred necklace with beads on it, and he would go and tax the people, and she would follow him around immediately and give back the money. So she was a people's queen, a people's princess.
Yeah.
And one day the king decided he was going to marry her off, but he had already had somebody else, or she had already had somebody else that she was in love with.
Right.
And in order to protest, she basically went around and she planted these beads and these beads became like I can't remember exactly what they claim the beads became. What did the beads become? My brain is sorry. I had this memorized, and then we got so much into other stuff, and then my brain was like, "Oh, that these beads were actually magical stones, which they kept the daughter safe, and allowed her to go to her hero rather than going to the alleged person that she was supposed to marry." Yeah. And so it represents the origins of the river that then eventually would leave the lake. So Lake Baikal is the father figure, and then his daughter is the river leaving it. And so the stones were magical stones that lit up, and they represent treasures that could be found. And the hidden wealth that is found within it, like, eventually just kind of like just became part of the lore of the lake. Makes you wonder I don't know, because I'm over I'm butchering that story.
Right.
My brain is not like, I'm not remembering it, and I cannot find where I had it written down. And so I am absolutely butchering that story.
So if you were to look at old maps of this lake, do you know where this lake is at on an old map? It's
is this near Tartaria?
It's in Tartaria, dude.
Brother.
It is Tartaria. Yes. I just looked that up. I just was thinking about that. Yeah. If you look up Tartaria and you compare the two, yeah, there it's in the same, like, near Mongolia. Yeah. Yeah, so the Tartarians, if that is true stories, they lived very near this lake. So that's interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Well, going back to the humanoids, with the government had classified deep water missions regularly during the Cold War there, which it's a super. I mean, America. Why would they choose that lake? Why would they not choose that lake? Like that. It's a pretty obvious. Yeah. But the story is that while they were doing the training, they found these underwater beings and like attempted to experiment and do all kinds of other things on it.
Right.
Some people fringe theories.
Yeah.
Were that their attempts to affect these humanoids were what eventually led to the breakup of the USSR.
Oh.
That it was almost like a retaliation that they were just like, we're fighting back. We're going to destabilize this. Huh. But the theory is that the classified documents labeled them as humans, like giant humans wearing suits.
Okay.
So the image we saw would have been what the suit looked like, not necessarily what the person looked
in
like.
The suit looked
allegedly.
Like. Okay.
Multiple divers died during these training events, which again, that doesn't surprise me as much. Right. Yeah. Like that's not that. I don't feel like that plays into the lore a whole lot.
Yeah.
But once you start realizing your divers are dying that much, why would you continue to dive in the lake?
Right.
For training. Yeah.
Not even.
I would start picking somewhere safer for training.
Right.
But it is Russia and the USSR, and they didn't really care. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
But some people theorize that these beings are ancient Earth civilizations that survived through building bases, because the weird umbrella above their heads that looks like like they're trying to breathe oxygen.
Right. Yeah.
So they would have had to have gone in and maybe they found a access point to the inner ocean or whatever, and built bases on the inside to protect from things like radiation, comets, that kind of thing. And if there's other access points, in theory, it would be really easy if they're that civilized, if they're that advanced.
Yeah.
The theory is that they could just then go all over the earth, and that this would link to all of the weird underwater UAPs that we see.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, and the underwater humanoids are weird, and then the perfect circles that appear.
Yeah,
those are weird.
Yeah,
those are really weird, and so it makes you wonder if there's not like a vent of something coming out from the bottom that creates these perfect circles. But yeah, the fact that the bottom has like bottomless zones where they haven't mapped it out, that's kind of crazy. The local legends,
it's just crazy, even with like sonar and stuff, that they haven't figured out how, I guess there's other spots they haven't done that either, like the Mariana Trench is pretty deep. They don't know how deep that thing is either. Maybe they're connected. And
the reason the tales of the military encountering these people comes from alleged whistleblowers from the government. Right. For me, that's always one of those weird, like, okay, beige flag kind of moments. It's like, are you an actual whistleblower from the government, or are you just creating
conspiracy theorists that is trying to convince everybody that your theory is feasible?
But it does map up with, it's not just a modern tale, it's an old legend. And I'm always more perked up when it's like, hey, the modern sightings match the old tales.
Yeah. Yep.
And it always makes me go, okay, so what is this?
Yeah. Because in the old tales, it tells me that somebody saw something. Now, whether it's what they're saying it is or not, I don't know. But they saw something that made them come up with this story,
But yeah, so this lake, honestly, there's enough here that I was debating on whether I wanted to even share it, because I just skimmed over the surface and we're already kind of at our time limit.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can map out some more information and do
cruise this into something else too. Yeah.
But this area it's just the scientific facts about this lake are wild. Like, not even talking the weird humanoids, the military training, just the facts that I started with.
Yeah.
This lake is crazy, dude. And how it's the largest lake on Earth, and none of us have ever heard of it.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Because and I half joked about it being like the Madagascar of water, but like Madagascar is a big deal. We all know about Madagascar, and there's creatures on there that they can't explain, and they're different and things like that. Why is this not similar? Why isn't this? Why aren't we talking about all the crazy fishing? Maybe because they're cuddlier at Madagascar. I don't know. There's some scary animals in Madagascar, though. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious now. I want to check out some of these crazy species they got going on.
Yeah. And the sheer amount, the sheer amount of underwater research that the USSR did that is covered up now still. Yeah. With the fall of the USSR, you feel like a lot of that would have been declassified, but it's not.
Right.
And so there's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't just keep all that classified after your country fell just for funsies.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't seem like it would, if it was no big deal, like it'd be that important for them to be like, okay, this is what we found. No big deal. Interesting.
It's an old lake. The fact that it's in Tartaria, though, my brain is just going, what?
I hadn't thought about that till we were sitting there thinking about it. I was like, I wonder how far away. And when I looked, and it's on the map, it's in the same area.
I wonder if there's any
old maps. I wonder if there's any connection between the two, like other than French. When I tried to connect the two, it said the lake is real. Tartaria is not made up. It's made up by internet people. I was like, okay.
But the fact that other people have noticed it too, though.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How does Baikal get out on the Lake Baikal sat at the heart of Tartaria?
Yeah, it's right in the middle of it.
Not just
Yeah, it's not like on the edge of it or near it. Like, yeah, it was like, yeah. It was like the center of that area marked on the map. Yeah. What a weird connection to way back when we talked about Tartaria. Like, what if, this is crazy.
That's interesting.
What if the Tartarians developed suits, built underground cities, and they are in the lake now, and that's why we don't know anything about their tech or any of that stuff anymore.
Well, and the amount of like magnetic anomalies and stuff like that in there. And if
maybe the venting systems and all that stuff is coming, the methane, all that's coming from their factories and their oxygen stuff, and like
Tartarians allegedly used frequency resonance in the Earth energy.
Yeah,
and so that's crazy.
Weird. Huh.
That's crazy. And then again, the Soviet suppression.
Yeah.
No matter what is there, it is still weird how suppressed.
It's weird how that area, because you talk about Tartaria completely getting erased off the maps, and then we're talking about this place never gets talked about. Like, why? It's just Russia trying to just pretend like this place doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know? Crazy.
That's crazy. What if Tartaria wasn't just a lost empire, but a civilization that tapped into creation itself? And what if places like Lake Baikal still carry the residue of that power? That's what mine came up with as a hit line.
Boom.
Either way,
we just discovered
Lake Baikal is what we do. Weird. It's at best weird, at worst. You know, what if, I mean, again, kind of going back to our lore, what if it is just pure demonic activity? And And if, okay, so there's the one theory that the Nephilim live in the water.
Right.
This would be a great place for the Nephilim to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's the whole theory that aliens don't come from space. They come from the ocean.
Yeah, they're already here.
Yeah. Right. You know, this would be like the suburbs.
And if they okay, so let's say they come from a planet, like let's say aliens, well, I guess it depends on if the aliens came from somewhere or if they were here first.
Right.
Let's say they developed in fresh water.
Yeah.
This would be a great place for that because it's so deep. And if it does have let's say it does have an opening into an inner ocean that is fresh water.
Right.
They now have unlimited resources in life.
Yeah.
And can just come out whenever they want.
Right.
Or has access to other places on Earth and stuff. It'd be interesting either way.
Huh.
Or if they're from a different planet and their planet was freshwater, this would be their natural choice.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't want a shallow ocean or a shallow lake.
Right.
They'd want a deep one.
Right.
But yeah, this lake's surface area is the size of Belgium.
Okay.
Surface area wise.
I don't know how big Belgium is.
But that's how big it is.
Yeah.
It's about that. Well, here. Okay. So to give you an idea how big Belgium is, it is about the size of Lake Baikal.
That's crazy.
What? All right.
That's crazy.
And again, we just barely touched the surface because I was looking at the time and I was like, yeah, we got to finish.
Yeah.
So I kind of skimmed through all of the notes without really talking in depth to it. But it's like, I do kind of want to dig into the lore stuff again and get the story correct because I had it down. Even like when we were working out, I was like replaying the story in my head so I didn't forget it. I should have just wrote it down because whatever. But anyway, with that, don't forget to
be your biblically accurate best.
Join Patreon, patreon.com/BA Bigfoot, and go to Insane Labs, spelled with a Z, and use the code BA Bigfoot to get a fat 45% discount on some items.
Yep.
Outside of that,
Camden, I'm excited you showed up on the podcast, even though it wasn't planned. Glad to have you here.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah. Appreciate you. It's good having a third. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?